Hey, you're listening to WSCA 106.1 FM, Portsmouth's community radio. It's 12 o'clock on a Monday, which means it's time for Seacoast Business Connections radio show. I am your host, Mark Miller, and I'm here with my co-host team of TJ and Erik from PixelMEDIA.
So we'll introduce Tom Adams, the, I guess, founder, CEO of Maine Coast Lobster. Is that the official name?
The official name's Maine Coast Shellfish.
Okay, Maine, that's right. Okay.
We primarily ship lobsters, though.
Okay. So we're going to get the whole story on Tom and, you know, his history, background. I've known Tom for going on, 15 years or so.
Probably at least. Probably almost from the start of your days.
It was just a high school job that you thought you were going to do for a summer maybe, and then that turned into a lifelong career.
That's exactly it.
Were you on a boat?
No. That's it. We're done. Okay, took care of it.
Perfect.
Next subject.
No, I actually, I loved the ocean from an early age, loved fishing. My father was a plumber, and my mother was a school teacher. And I actually said, looking, what's my first summer job going to be? And I told my dad, hey, I'd like to go get a job on a lobster boat. Well, he had just done some work for a couple UNH grads, actually, that started a lobster business in York Harbor. And he had done some plumbing for them.
Yeah.
So he said, hey, why don't you see if they're hiring for the summer? See if you can work there, maybe meet some lobstermen for future. And I did that, got a job, and liked it.
You were on the boat?
No, I was working in a lobster buying facility.
Yeah, dockside,
And I never left the dock. I liked it. I started learning the business through high school and stayed working for this one company through college. Never went lobstering.
Right.
I've only been lobstering one time my entire life.
No kidding.
Seriously?
So, yeah, exactly.
That's funny. My grandfather on my mom's side was a lobsterman when he got back from Vietnam and lobstered all the way right up until Jack bought his own boats.
Yep.
And then started selling them out of a tank in his house. So
that's great.
This is cool. So 10,000-foot question.
Yeah.
How many pounds a year do you move?
We sell, it fluctuates a little bit, but not much. This year we'll probably do a little over 6 million pounds.
Wow. How many lobsters is that?
It's probably 4 to 5 million. We don't count them each, but the weights vary.
That's massive.
Lobsters really range from 1 pound as large as the biggest one I've ever seen was 28 pounds.
Wow.
We get quite a few lobsters up to the 10-pound range.
Seriously.
And a lot of Asian cultures love these large lobsters. But most of the lobsters are between 1 and 2 pounds. The growth really for us in my business in the last 3 years has been Asia. We've grown very quickly domestically and as Europe, but those were markets that the lobster industry has really been focusing on for the last 20, 30, 40 years, whereas Asia's the last 8 years.
Yeah.
With the last 3 years really being a big push. So it worked well for my business that the Asia demand was really coming on strong probably a year before I started this business.
Yeah.
But that's been growing every year. My company's grown from, the first year we were in business, we did 7 million in revenue. The second year, 15. The third year, 25. And this year we should be well over 30 million.
So I promised we would talk about some of the opportunities you've had to trade lobster for various things, and even this other thing I think was your dad did up on the the trail.
Yep.
So talk about lobster is a currency, right? Everybody wants it. Everybody loves it. If somebody has something that you can, hey, I'm a lobster dealer, I can trade you some lobster. That must be a great thing to be able to do.
Yeah, over the years I've met people that had season tickets to the Red Sox or Bruins so that's a common trade. Hey, I'll trade you my tickets for lobsters.
Yeah.
I was down in South Beach. I think it was the Millennium.
By the way, that was kind of a benign trade story. That's not what we were looking for. Tickets for lobsters. So.
In 2000, I went to South Beach with a girl I was dating at the time, and I was sitting. She was shopping, and I was sitting at a sushi bar, and the guy next to me. We just started chatting about what do you do?
Yeah.
Well, I'm a lobster dealer from Maine. What do you do? I'm a concert promoter. Well, he was promoting the concert that night live on South Beach. And it was Blondie and the Gypsy Kings. And right there at the bar, he gave me full access passes to the entire night. And I sent him lobsters several weeks later for his Super Bowl party.
Oh, kidding.
So
nice.
That was one of the fun trades.
Did you end up in the back of a Jimmy Buffett concert, too?
I did. That's a good one, too.
Yeah, I thought I remembered that.
Yeah, I ended up backstage at a Jimmy Buffett concert. and I traded someone some lobsters for tickets, and they had access passes. And I won't name the company, but the company was invited to meet Jimmy Buffett, and I happened to be one of the 4 people that they brought.
Okay.
So that was pretty fun as well.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So it is lobsters for tickets, basically.
Yeah, that's
it's really good backstage passes.
Yeah, or condo usage or any kind of trade.
Whatever you want.
Most recently, unfortunately, my older brother passed away.
Yeah.
Unexpectedly.
Sorry to hear that, too.
And he was a big hiker. He'd done the Appalachian Trail. And every year, we have a family camp up in the last 100 miles up near Mount Katahdin, where he used to go up and host through hikers. And he would get lobsters from me and burgers and hot dogs and probably unknown amounts of beer. And he would just set a sign on the woods, and they call it trail magic when they do something for hikers, whether it's provide them water or carry their backpacks by truck from one spot to another. Well, my brother used to do a lobster bake. So my father, just a couple weeks ago, is what Erik was bringing up, decided to do that on what would have been his 47th birthday.
Yeah.
And so we went up there, and I brought lobster and lobster rolls, cooked chicken, hamburgers, hot dogs. We put a sign and
on the trail, pointing how far off, how far away from the trail
it was
are
only
you?
0.2 miles, but there was no sign that said 0.2 miles.
Right.
It was just an arrow. So the hikers had
And it said what? It said lobster.
Lobster.
Actually, all it said was trail magic.
And they know.
Oh, no kidding.
In memorial of James Adams. And like probably 25 through hikers came through that day. And me and a few of our friends had hiked part of the trail actually to spread his ashes. We came back, and there's 18 tents set up in front of the camp. The through hikers came down reading trail magic. Then they discovered there was lobster there, hamburgers, hot dogs, chicken, beer. And they decided, hey, we're staying here until tomorrow. And then I actually did scrambled eggs with lobster for breakfast.
That's awesome. Actually,
it was pretty great.
You got a lot of pictures of that, I hope.
We did. So it was a good memorial to Jim, and something he would have been proud of.
Yeah, you think you'll continue that?
Yeah, I think we will. I think because my dad actually looked at me that night. We had a big bonfire, and he's like, "Geez, this was pretty smart of him because this is a pretty good time."
Yeah, right.
Met people from all aspects of life that were hiking these people had been on the trail since March,
and that's the tail end of the trail.
Yeah, they're 5 days from the finish.
Yeah,
approximately.
Wow. That's nice.
What a great treat! 5 days from the finish.
Yeah, lobster rolls and lobster.
Wow,
so they were pretty excited.
Well, we have to wrap it up. Any last minute questions?
No, I think this was great. I knew Tom would be fun. I've known some of this, but there's some new stuff today.
You got any questions for us, Tom?
No, I'm good. This was enjoyable. First time on the radio, so thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Erik and TJ, for making the invite.
Yeah, no, I'm glad to do it.
Glad to hear about it.
PixelMEDIA has been a good supporter of this company. They actually did design my website, and the gentleman filming also did a little video that's embedded on the website. So if you get a chance, whoever's listening, check it out.
Yeah, no, that'll be good.
Excellent. I appreciate you coming out. It's a cool
Thanks,
story.
Tom.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Tom. Really appreciate it. You've been listening to Seacoast Business Connections radio show. This is Mark Miller thanking Erik and TJ once again for a great show, and thanking Tom for coming in. We will talk to you next week with Tech Talk next Monday at 12 o'clock. Until then, do good business.